Good morning. It's another day here on the Darling Downs. It's going to be a gloomy one. We're meant to get up to 20 mils of rain today and potentially another 45 tomorrow. So a lot of rain this week. We're getting to the point now where it's like, okay, enough rain. Please give us sunshine. Funny how that works. We had end of summer and early autumn, like it got super dry. We're like, yes, please give us rain. We just had this, light showers that were teasing us, and now we're finally getting proper rain as we're heading into winter, which is like strange timing. It's for this time of year, it's super warm, especially in terms of overnight temperatures. It's almost equal temperature day and night at the moment, and that's really strange for this time of year. And it's meant to clear up after the weekend, the clouds, and then meant to get into some proper winter conditions. Finally, we only had got the 2 frosts early this month, but apart from that, it's just been super overcast, rainy. But gonna head off to work today, doing my 3 days at my old job. I don't know what it is, but at the moment it irks me, man. The moment my job irks me. There's nothing specific that's happening that annoys me, but it's a mixture of things. I just feel it just irks me a bit. I don't know. I'm just perhaps that's just my mind getting to the point where it's like, yep, I am ready to move on now on this job. I have got some more results. I've been doing really well with all my uni coursework and all that. And, what's this? Horse shit. Okay. There's some horse shit down there. We just had a big event here last week. So there was some activity around here. Yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, work irks me. It's it has for a while. Certain things have added up, and now it's at the point where it's like, I've had enough of this job. Yeah, I mean, I'm in a strange place at the moment. Bit of limbo. I mean, I'm still waiting for some final results. Those results I've gotten on specific assignments, I've done really well. My final results for the trimester, that'll still be a while. They take their time, they sure do. But yeah, the invitation to the graduation ceremony should be in my emails by 20th of June. That's when the cutoff is to be invited to the next graduation, 20th of June. So I should receive something by then. I did clarify things. So I will graduate. I'll get my degree, of course, regardless of whether I go to graduation ceremony or not, which is good, of course. But I do want to go. I do want to go to graduation ceremony. I've spent longer studying this degree than, no, I didn't actually. I completed this degree in environmental science actually faster than the 3 years. It was 2.5 years that it took me to complete it. But I've been at university for 5 years because I switched degrees halfway through. Took a switch between part-time and full-time, and I had a gap semester. It was a mess. My journey at university has been a bit of a mess, but hey, we're finally done. Like I mentioned in the previous video, I'm not even ruling out. I've already started thinking a little bit of potential further studies, but that's not going to be for a long time. Not for a long time. I'm gonna throw a number out there. Let's say not for 5 years, man. Next 5 years, we really need to lock in. I want to get some full-time work in my field. Just stack up, really. Work, stack up, and when I'm able to, travel. That's the goal. Now getting onto the topic of this video, how travel broke me. Yeah, travel broke me. And I'm specifically going to use the Sri Lanka trip as an example. Sri Lanka broke me. It did. I realized that last night. It just can't, when I, after I edited the video, my last video in Sri Lanka, inside Sri Lanka's Christian community. That was where I was staying at my grandparents' old house, and just exploring around that neighborhood. It was inside the middle of one of Sri Lanka's majority Christian areas. Sri Lanka being a majority Buddhist country. So that was really, really interesting to see. I mean, I've been there before, but it's my first time as an adult. I was walking around, exploring. I really got to take in the atmosphere. Happened to be during the feast of Saint Sebastian, and I needed that. I did. It was a good way. I really needed that to connect more with my roots, because I can speak I can speak from the perspective of someone who I grew up in Australia. I have a migrant background here. I don't have any family history here, and other people from other migrant backgrounds can probably relate to this, especially if you grow up in a country that's away from the birthplace of your parents, where you don't have much extended family around. It can be a bit different if you have some extended family. Like if you're part of that wider community and you have that extended family connections in the new country, like that can be a bit different. But I don't have that. I've only got one. I've got an uncle and auntie down in Melbourne, and a cousin down there. But that's it. No one else in the entire country. That's crazy. That is crazy. So I'm the first person from my family that's born and raised in Australia. So it's like, essentially, it's a whole new chapter. Just speaking of the whole, if you go back to the whole family tree history, all that, which I have done a little bit. One of my cousins was very much into that. He went on my mum's side of the family. He managed to trace back through old church records and all that, all the way back to the 1600s. So my mum's side of the family, we have quite a good picture going back to the 1600s, which maybe I'll share a little bit here and there, what I do know later on, although that's a lot something that I want to keep private, of course. But yeah, going through old Catholic church records and so on and so forth, like my cousin managed to piece together quite a bit. Very interesting. So yeah, but this is like a whole new chapter. I mean, it depends, of course. Like if I don't have kids ever, then, which is potentially quite likely, then this will just be an interesting venture for the family. I'm just thinking now in terms of family history. It'll be an interesting venture that will probably end with me here. But if I do eventually get married and decide to have kids, then it'll be like a whole new chapter here in Australia. It's interesting when you think of it that way. But I don't know what's going to happen in that regard. And I'm just focused on getting myself established in a career path, and I want to stack up. I want to get some full-time work, stack up, and get out of my current job. I don't know, it just starts to feel a bit, I start to resent it more and more, even though I am grateful for certain parts of it where it helped me. It was a stepping stone. It helped me get away from my job at the dairy that I was working before, farm work, and man, the whole process moving out here during COVID and all that, and all the restrictions, everything, it was painful. It was very painful, and there was a lot going on during that time. So I am grateful at this job. It was a good stepping stone to get out of that, but I'm getting to the point where I don't want to stay here much longer. It's hard because at the moment, like, we got a new system installed and all this, and there's a few projects, enough stuff upcoming, so I don't really want to leave in the middle of all that. I'm not ready to leave yet, of course. Like, I'm waiting for my final results. I need to graduate, and then I need actually a proper game plan, what I'm going to do after I graduate, get all my results, and once I find the sort of job that I want to, like, start applying for jobs, basically, then I need a game plan. Okay, leaving this job and then potentially moving. Most likely I will have to move. It's not likely that I'll be able to get the sort of work that I want in this region, but hey, I'm happy. I'm open with that. I'll move if I have to. That's no problem. But anyway, and getting back to the point, really. So yeah, travel broke me. It's interesting. I got quite emotional after posting that video last night. I was even debating whether I should post it or not, but then I decided at the end, you know what? I put all this effort into filming. Like, even some of the last videos of the Sri Lanka trip, I was debating not posting anything at all because I, of course, was so busy with uni. I was only able to post some of the Sri Lanka videos. And I don't know, the more I edited, the more effort I put in, edited all these videos, put them together, I just started to resent the whole content creation process more. I was forced to have a bit of a break, of course, to finish all my university coursework, and I was even debating, should I even bother with these last few videos? But then I thought, you know what, I put so much time and effort into filming this and all that, and especially towards the end of the trip, I really like forced myself to film when I really didn't want to. I mean, there were some of the, like, my very last video in Sri Lanka, I'm so grateful I filmed that. I'm so grateful. I am. A lot of parts of the Sri Lanka trip, I'm so grateful I did film it, because now I have something to look back on. I can go look back on that in years and really just see the whole process. I'm grateful for that. I am grateful. But if I have one regret from this Sri Lanka trip, like I mentioned in the previous video, I filmed too much. I did. It was 5 weeks there, and I've got 29 videos. That's too much. That's too much. I did film too much. So yeah, going in the future, I'm not even sure what I'm gonna do on my main channel anymore. Like, I'm going to New Zealand, and I've decided I am not going to film that much from it, especially not in the first week. Like, first week, it's just going to be going to Auckland, again, catching up with friends and, well, friends, I don't really have friends, but acquaintances, people I know, extended family. Yeah, that'll be good. That'll be good. Some of the Sri Lankan crew, catch up with them. Be grateful for that. I'm grateful. Like, I do have connections, even though I say I don't have any friends. Like, I do have connections, people I like, and people who think I know. Like, especially my extended family. Like, I'm grateful for my extended family, and I know they do think highly of me. And it's hard though, because I grew up quite very isolated, right? So I was really forced to develop a more independent mindset, individualist mindset. Yeah, that's interesting. That's an interesting thing you can observe in people. Some people, they really have this collectivist mindset where they very much think of community, and they are deeply connected to a certain community or extended family, and it's always about the community, right? So you see that in certain societies as well. Some societies are more individualistic, like especially in the West now, we are more individualistic, and some societies are more collectivist. And there's benefits and drawbacks of both. Like, I do think fundamentally humans do need community, but at the same time, some people, there's always been people throughout history, like, hermits, and people who have been more withdrawn from the whole machine of society. And I've definitely been more like that. I've definitely been always more of an individualist, even with the experience in Sri Lanka, which really did touch my heart. Like, last night I finished the video editing, and I actually cried after watching back some of those clips. I did, because it was emotional. It was. I cried after posting the video and all that. I wasn't. That's why I was about to not even post it. Not in the moment, not in the video. Like, there was so much Sri Lanka trip. There was so much going on. It was crazy. It got crazy, especially towards the wedding and towards the end. Overall, I really do love the trip. It's trip. There were certain parts of it towards the end that I wasn't so happy about. Especially towards the wedding. I did drink a bit and all that, which, I wasn't that happy about in hindsight. But fundamentally, I'm like, you know what? I don't regret it, because it did teach me a thing or two about, alcohol, the dangers of it. Granted, I've never had a drinking problem, but still, it's something I would rather. It reinforced the fact that it's something I'd rather live without. So definitely now, going on New Zealand trip, for instance, I'm going to make a declaration right now. I'm not going to drink. I'm going on a holiday, but I'm not going to drink. So do hold me to that. I'll let you know how it goes when I'm over there. I mean, I'm lucky. I don't really have any in my most of my immediate family. I don't have any alcoholics in there. There's some people I know they do like to drink, but no, people that have these debilitating alcohol addictions. I know one of my grandparents on my mum's side, for instance, was an alcoholic, so that we have had a few in the family. But yeah, man, alcohol is something I just prefer to be without. So that's the one, I guess. I mean, there was two, how many occasions was there? There were 2 nights where I did drink in Sri Lanka. So yeah, it was interesting. It was interesting, let's say the least. But I don't know, the Sri Lanka trip, it did fundamentally, it broke me. Ooh, it broke me. And I don't know, maybe this is something that only people who travel will understand, but it broke me. What do I mean by broke me? Well, fundamentally, it changed me. The old Johan is broken. The old Johan is no more. That's what I mean. Like, it's the way I look at the world now, the way I see things. Nothing's the same. Nothing has been the same since I returned from the Sri Lanka trip. And not just that, of course, like my other travel experiences, they did fundamentally change me. And I said in one of my previous videos, is travel the missing key? Because, like, I think travel is probably one of the most powerful experiences that we can have in terms of growth and development. Self-improvement. Like, a big component of self-improvement, of course, is your habits, routine, how you live your day-to-day life. Like, that's important, of course. Working out, exercise, meditation, prayer, diet, all these things, all these components come together. And then of course, semen retention, if you choose to go that route, cutting out addictions, that's of course all important parts of it. But that's about day-to-day life, and that's more so about building structure into your life so that you can really thrive and prosper. But there's another layer to it. I think every now and then we all need these experiences that are fundamentally disruptive. So there's different types of self-improvement. There's a self-improvement that's constructive, that's about building structure and routines. Then there's self-improvement that's about expanding out of our comfort zone. And in a sense, it might be seen as a bit destructive, because ultimately, they say energy cannot be created nor destroyed. That's one of the fundamental laws of the universe. Energy cannot be created or destroyed, except by God, I suppose. Which that goes into a whole other layer of it. But yeah, energy can only be transformed from one form to another. And yeah, these transformative moments in our lives, that can be something like travel, it can be any big event in our life, right? And I think there's certain events that will happen in our lives that are out of our control, but travel is one of those things that we can choose to travel or not. And yeah, let me just say, travel is something that will fundamentally change you. It does, I don't know, it just means something deeper. I think, because now these days, right, we don't, especially in the West, we don't really have rites of passages for young people. What is a rite of passage? Rite of passage is basically transitioning from you grow up and you transition into adulthood, some sort of ceremony, some sort of practice that will basically help you to transition into adulthood. We don't really have that anymore. Do we have you turn 18, you can start drinking. You turn 8, in Australia, right? I know in the US it's 21, but most places, many places around the world, Australia, it's 18, right? 18, you can start smoking, you can start drinking. Yeah, you graduate, get out of high school, go to university, go to or get an apprenticeship, start working. There's nothing to really transition you into that adulthood. It's interesting, because these days you see a lot of people, they are older, maybe in their 20s, 30s, but they act like spoiled brats, they act like children. That's because they might be physically adults, but mentally they're still children. They haven't transitioned into adulthood. And I'm not claiming, oh, look at me, I know everything and I'm so wise and all this. I've had certain experiences that have helped me to grow, helped me to evolve, but we need these experiences from time to time that break us out of our own patterns of thinking, because you can really become trapped by that. Especially if you live a certain way, and if you become too comfortable, you can become trapped by that. So we do need these experiences from time to time that do break us and push us out of our comfort zone. I know it's a bit of a nasty way of saying, oh, it breaks you. No, but I mean, from travel, for instance, it did break me. And it started earlier. As soon as I started traveling on my own, going on road trips, some of those experiences fundamentally changed me, looking back. And of course, the Sri Lanka trip was a big culmination of that all. And it's meant a lot for me, of course, because half my family's from over there on my dad's side. And yeah, I was able to reconnect with that side of the family and get back to my roots a bit, because it's important. It is. If you're not from, if you're from a place and you've got family history going back many generations, you can all trace it back. It's easy to take it for granted, right? You're from a certain country, a certain community, and you can just trace back your family lineage there so far. It's easy to take it for granted. But if you're from a migrant background, then it can be hard, especially if you've got no immediate family connections there. Of course, as a migrant, for instance, I was born and raised here, so I consider myself fully Australian. But if you are a migrant, for instance, of course, you want, in the ideal scenario, of course, you want to integrate into the host country. It's only fair, right? If you're a migrant and you move somewhere, you want to essentially integrate into the culture of the host country. That's only fair. But there will always be a part of you. Like this is where some people get it wrong. There'll always be a part of you that remains in your home country, right? So my dad, for instance, my dad is an Australian citizen now, right? He's got his citizenship. He migrated here legally. He was never on any benefits. He worked from day one. And yeah, I would say like my dad, like he's fully now integrated into the Australian way of life. He lives here, he works, he pays taxes, and he loves the country, right? Otherwise, he wouldn't be here still after 30 years. 30 years ago, my parents moved here. I'm speaking of my dad's example, right? But my dad, in his heart, I can see that he is still Sri Lankan, and he will always be Sri Lankan, right? First and foremost, my dad is Sri Lankan. He might be an Australian citizen, but having a certain passport, having a citizenship, that doesn't actually mean much. It doesn't mean much. Like, just because you're handed a citizenship doesn't make you... this is where it gets a bit controversial, but I would say this. Having citizenship doesn't necessarily make you, say, part of a certain community. My dad, in his heart, his roots are very deep in Sri Lanka, right? So I could observe that. And same thing with my mum, because I think if you move somewhere to a new country as a child, when you're younger or as a child during your formative years, especially if you're born there, then essentially like you become a part of that culture. It depends, of course, like especially now with mass migration, it's harder now because like when I grew up, for instance, Australia was very different. Even though I'm young, I'm 25. Australia was quite different during my formative years to what it is now. Like especially if there's ghettos that form, it can essentially be like you are raised in a country inside a country. That's what creates all these problems with division and ghettos forming, all that. Like when I grew up, the way I grew up, it wasn't like that at all. Like I went to high school, there were people of all different backgrounds. There were white Australians, Aboriginal people, people from all across the world, different migrant backgrounds, Asians, Indians, Middle Eastern, from everywhere. I went to I was raised in a very multicultural community, people from everywhere, all across the world, right? And fundamentally, the way when I went to school, like, we all grew up and we all essentially were born and raised, most of us in Australia. Some people from migrant backgrounds, but we all were raised through the Australian school system, and essentially we all became Australian, right? That's the way things happened. And yeah, I don't know where I'm quite going with this, but yeah, anyway, having connection to our roots is important, right? And I think, especially if you're from a migrant background and you travel to where your ancestry comes from, it's a special experience. It's a profound experience. If you're from a migrant background and you know where, say, your parents come from or where your ancestors come from, I would highly recommend you travel, go to those places. Even if you might be in a country and you have already generations going back, if might know your great grandparents came from this place, or you have ancestry from anywhere, I would recommend go and travel there. It's a life-changing experience. And look, definitely I'm not done in Sri Lanka by any means. I definitely want to travel back there eventually. And yeah, after my experience in Sri Lanka visiting my dad's side of the family, it also makes me want to go to Europe to visit my mum's side of the family and be more in that environment, because I feel like if I do that, then it's like I feel like I would be more complete. I have a much better grasp and connection to both my parents' side of the family, and me being mixed background, of course. It's been especially challenging at times to really know like who I am in terms of like, I was born and raised in Australia, but both my parents' countries, like they're completely separate to Australia. And I've got ancestry going back in Sri Lanka and Austria, my mum's side. My mum's side of the family is spread a bit more over Europe, but yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting to think of it in that way. So yeah, fundamentally, travel did break me. Like the old Johan who I was before these travel experiences is no more, and that's okay. I'm perfectly fine with that. And Lara, yeah, let's go. I've got to go get ready for work. But yeah, it's changed me. So I definitely want to travel to Austria as well. But yeah, going into the future, man, I don't want to film so much. Like that's only one. If I have one regret from the Sri Lanka trip, I filmed too much. It's like funny. I regret it and I don't regret it. Like I'm certain things, especially towards the end of the trip, the last video, like certain things I'm very grateful I filmed, because now I'll be able to look back on it. But at the same time, it's like, man, I put so much effort into these videos and it didn't really pay off, because a part of me is still like, oh yeah, you know, I would be happy if my YouTube channel were to grow. But now it's like, I'm trying not to even think of it that way. It's like YouTube now, it's just a hobby. It's just a hobby. I have no expectation of any potential growth. Treat it just like a journaling, really. So I'm not even sure how I'm going to go about making videos. I will still vlog. I will still film when traveling, but the nature of the videos will be quite different going into the future. I've still got videos, like 1 or 2 videos to come from like Singapore and the trip back home. And I did film 1 video after returning, but apart from that, I don't have many videos left now to post. So yeah, I'm probably gonna have another break and just really think about what I want to do going forward. Like I mentioned, I might do a dopamine fast going into June, and yeah, then we'll see where we go from there. So I hope you all enjoy. See you on the next one.